Happening, y'all know who it is, man. It's Cuz on the one and twos, man. Y'all know it's me. It's always me on the one and twos, man. Thank y'all for tapping into Yo Cuz podcast. Y'all know what it is, man. We lit. It's 8:23. I'm kind of late, but it's okay. I got one for you, man. I just want to thank all my supporters, man, that support this page, man. I love y'all for doing it, man. For all the new subscribers and the old subscribers, I want to thank y'all too. I want to thank y'all for sticking with me, man, and getting it done with me, man. I appreciate that, all the love that y'all gave me, man. But I got a hot one today. I got a hot one today. Thank y'all for tapping into Yo Cuz podcast. This one's right here is one man convinced 9 ladies to marry him, man. Y'all, listen. He liked that if he confront if he asked 9 females to marry him and they married him and they know about each other, oh, he like that, bro. But guess what? Y'all gonna see it tonight on Yo Cuz podcast. Tap in, tap in, tap in. We lit. Let's go.
These 5 women, they are all from the Houston, Texas area, and they are all about the same age, and each one thought that she had found the man of her dreams. Until recently, all of these women had never met, even though they have a lot in common. You ready for this? They were all married or engaged to the same man. Take a look at this complex love line. In just 10 years, Eric Cooper was married to or engaged to 9 different women. He said his first I do with Melissa Pope in 1994. They had a daughter, Tracy. They split in 1996. In July of 1998, he married Kimberly Pittman. The following year, their marriage ended, but before he was divorced from Kimberly, he married April James. He and April divorced in January of 2000. By March, he was married again to Paula Heron. They divorced in January of 2002. According to Texas marriage records, he married another April Singleton, before divorcing Paula. A shocked April filed bigamy charges against Eric. Turns out, while married to both Paula and April, Eric got engaged to Brandy, who gave birth to another daughter, Brianna. He married Jennifer Smith in 2004. In September that same year, he married Crystal Weber in Las Vegas. Crystal soon discovered that he was a fraud and threw him out. That same day, he landed on Tanya Causey's doorstep and proposed to her a few weeks later. Whoa. 5 of Eric Cooper's former wives and fiancés.
Oh, he went hard. Slim went hard. You hear me? I gotta hear this one. This is my first time seeing this one too, y'all. Let's go.
Are here. So I say welcome to Crystal and to Tanya and April and Brandy and Melissa. You found out not only has the man you love been lying to you, but that the lies involve 8 other women. What was your first reaction? You say that it was this fantasy relationship,
right,
and then it started to unravel the day you got married. How so?
He kind of has what I describe as like a split personality. For example, the night we got married, he just, for no reason, just switched and said, "That's it, we're getting a divorce." And I was like, of course I was all upset. It was the night we got married, and so I was like, what, why? You know, I think it's his way to control the situation, to control you.
So he was engaged to you, Tanya. He was engaged to you while he was married to you, Crystal.
Right. What happened was the day that I kicked Eric out of my apartment, the next day he was over at Tanya's apartment.
It was that same night.
Oh, the same night.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. That same night, then.
But you had already known him, right?
I had already met him maybe 3 weeks before, but we live on opposite sides of town. She lived on one side of Houston, I live on the other. And he told me that he was in Florida, I think, helping with hurricane cleanup after they had hurricanes there. That's how he explained him being gone.
My man said he was out Florida helping with the hurricane. That's why he was gone. But the whole time he was over another lady's house. I got to see him.
And of course, I found out later when he was gone, he was at her house. So
He was actually living with me, and because we had gotten married, and he was living with me. But he had told her that he was in Florida helping out with the hurricanes, that he was being a good Samaritan.
He had told you he was rich, right?
He told me he inherited money from his mother, who had died when he was 2 years old. He had invested it and now he had all this money. He even he went house shopping with me. He took my parents house shopping, and we went ring shopping. He pretended like he had money, but I never actually saw it. Of course, you know. So I never actually saw the money. Isn't that funny?
Who said he was always dressed in his Navy whites?
Me.
You did. What, was he really in the Navy?
No.
He wasn't even in the Navy.
I don't even think he made it out of boot camp.
Really? Okay, so he dressed in his military uniform when he visited you?
Yeah, the first time I met him, he was wearing his uniform.
And visited.
So you mean tell me he was wearing a Navy uniform around so he could get women's? Because basically, them type of women's like man's in the military, basically.
Did your son second grade class?
Yes.
Did all that? How long did you date him?
About 2 months.
About 2 months. So you were just engaged.
Right.
And then how did you discover?
He was checking his email on my computer. You know, when I walked in, he cleared the screen out. So that, of course, turned into an argument. And that's how I found Brandy. And that, after we broke up, I got an email back from her, and she explained everything to me, you know, who he was
Brandy,
and what happened.
Brandy, you say he was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality.
Yes.
Same thing Crystal said. So where were you in this chain?
After her, 3 people after her. Well, when I was married to Eric, he was also married to Paula.
How long were
And
you
she
married
was
to?
pregnant with his baby.
Okay, how long? Okay. So he was married to 2 women and had her.
Had her pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long?
He was going hard, wasn't he? You hear this? Man, he was going hard, bruh. For real, bruh. Hold up, man.
Were you married to him?
About a month.
You were married a month. How long had you dated?
We had dated about a month.
Okay.
I found out about Melissa and that they had had a child together.
Had you had a child together?
Yes.
Okay. And how long were you with him?
3 months.
3 months.
And then we were married for about 8 months.
And you're married for, that's long.
Yeah.
Well, she was number 1,
Oh,
so.
so you were the first?
Yes.
Okay, so you were the first. And what was your first clue?
One day he would just be so sweet and loving, and then like the next day, like all of a sudden, I mean, he would blow up. I mean, be throwing stuff around and push you around and just, you know, just.
And this is my question to all of you. You never saw any sign of this Jekyll and Hyde personality prior to marrying?
He waited
I did a little bit. He would blame that on the military. He's like, because he said he was an officer in the military and a pilot as well for me. I don't know what he told y'all.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
I think it was a pilot for her as well.
Yeah, he was a pilot.
He's a Navy
had his
SEAL
Navy
for
SEAL
me.
for
He was a Navy SEAL.
What do you know?
Was he physically abusive with all of you?
Yes.
How so?
When I was 4 months pregnant with our daughter Brianna, he had grabbed me by my neck and put me on the ground. When she was born, he broke our family portrait over our head. And that same night, he pulled a gun on me, telling me, you know, me and my daughter were worthless. And then he proceeded to turn the gun on himself, and I asked him to go out.
Hold on, Mo. Was he really in the Navy, or he was just crazy, Mo? He just had to been just crazy, Mo, for real. For him to do all that, bro, he had to be just crazy, bro. For real. Like, what the fuck?
Outside because I didn't want to see it. Well, then I went to go to bed after.
I'm sure it was said with more passion than that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, could you go outside if you're going to shoot yourself? I'm sure so.
Yes. And then I got our daughter calmed down, put her to sleep, and he came in there with a taser and shocked me while I was trying to sleep.
What?
I couldn't believe it. I was terrified.
And this is how...
Oh, the nigga is a nutcase. Get the fuck, she's sleeping. He come in and sting her with the taser, bruh. The nigga's a nutcase, man.
So you've been with him a while. You're long enough to have a daughter.
Yeah. Well, I left him when I was still pregnant, when I found out about not her, but another lady that had a child with him.
How many children does he have now?
Three living
He
daughters.
has one on the way with a 17-year-old, I believe.
He has one on the way.
And one on the way.
Yeah.
Hi, YouTubers. I'm excited to give you an update about our own YouTube channel. Now you can find new videos every day. They're the kind of videos that will make you look at life differently. They may even make you laugh.
For real, this nigga was a fucking nutcase, Mo. This nigga was beating the women and everything, bro. He was a nutcase, bro. That shit is crazy, like literally, shit crazy. Another one for y'all.
Mother of two, Barbara Sheehan, was a devoted wife of 24 years. She worked as a school secretary and enjoyed attending her neighborhood church. Today, 48-year-old Barbara is just months away from facing a jury who will decide if she should spend the rest of her life behind bars.
When I first got married, I thought that I was going to have a great life. I thought he came from a good family. We went to the same church. We had the same beliefs. And we wanted to have children, and everything was really good. My daughter was born about 2 years after I was married. After my son was born, things started to change. He started to get very, he was very violent. Everything was my fault. If we went somewhere, there was traffic, it was my fault. He was physically abusive. He was emotionally abusive, psychologically abusive. He used to push me, shove me, he would step on me, kick me.
Barbara says she never filed a police report against her husband for one reason.
I was unable to go to the police with the abuse because he was the police, and he let me know that all the time, that no one
So the nigga was the police the whole time, but beating his wife up, Mom.
would believe me. I have the badge, they're gonna believe the badge. Anytime I went to the doctor or the hospital, I always protected him. I always said that, you know, I did this to myself, I was clumsy, I fell. One night I made marinara sauce, and he took the whole pot and he put it right over my head because he decided he didn't want marinara sauce today. It was that pot right over there. I obviously cried, and he just walked away, and he said, now clean it up and make me something to eat.
Barbara says family vacations were the most frightening times with Raymond.
He would drink a lot on vacation, and he would get even more violent. I mean, he came very close to killing me in Jamaica. I have stitches that run from my forehead all the way into the back of my head because he took the back of my hair and he pounded up against the cinder block walls of the room. And that was because I woke him up. He was always armed, always had 2 guns on his waist and on his ankle. My biggest fear was that he was going to kill me, and after he killed me, he was going to kill my children.
Barbara says a fight over a trip to Florida was the breaking point.
The nigga was a fucking nutcase, Mom. You hear this shit, Mom? Y'all heard it first on Yo Cuz podcast. Hit the link, man. Hit the link. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. And hit that like button, man. We lit.
In the morning of the incident, he was in the bathroom, and I came up these stairs to tell him that I couldn't go to Florida with him and that I definitely didn't want to go. He had a gun on the counter right next to the sink while he was in the bathroom. And when I looked in the door, he picked up the gun and he aimed it at me, and I was sure that he was going to kill me. So I ran down this way to get away from him. In my room was the other gun. So I grabbed it and I thought to myself that he wouldn't shoot me if I had a gun. So I went by, and as I went by, he came right at me from the door, and he went at me with the gun, and I thought that he was going to shoot me. And so I took the gun that I had and I shot him.
Well, Barbara shot her husband.
Nah, for real, I would have shot his ass too. The fuck? Nigga, you around here abusing me and all that shit, bruh. And the only reason she ain't, like, was scared to leave and shit like that, bruh, because he had them guns, bruh. And she know that nigga's fucking retarded. So she's seen her a scapegoat. Fuck that. Shot his ass 11 times.
11 times that day. She pled not guilty to second-degree murder. Her trial is set for this fall. Barbara is currently out of jail on $1 million bond, and she is here. Highly unusual that you would be able to talk to me. Why did you want to talk to me?
Well, I think that it should be known that people need to get out of relationships immediately when something starts.
You felt there was nobody to turn to?
I tried to get out numerous times. I tried to call the police. Several times I used the phone, and I picked up the phone to dial it, and he would take the receiver out of my hand and punch me in the head with the receiver and tell me that, go ahead and call them. And when they get here, who are they going to believe? I'm a sergeant. They're not going to believe you. who are you? They're going to believe me, and they're not going to do anything.
So who did you tell through this? Because how many years did this go on?
You know the shit true, bro, cause she know that same phrase, bro, back to back, bro. Do you hear this, bro? For real, bro. He was beating her, but every time he was beating her, he would say the same thing, bro.
It was going on for probably about 16 or 17 years.
16 or 17 years. And what does that do to your spirit, to the spirit of you?
My spirit was just shot. You know, he was just very, very controlling at the beginning. I couldn't go to the store without showing him cash register receipts. So he saw what time I went to the store, what time I checked out, what time I left the store, and then how much time I had to get back home again. He would check those things. I couldn't take my children on play dates when they were little because he would be calling to make sure that's where I was. And he alienated me from a lot of friends that I had because he wanted the control.
Was there a time where you thought it would get better?
Well, at the beginning, I did think it would get better. He would apologize at first and say he was sorry, send roses. He always blamed it on the stress of his job. But after a while, he stopped apologizing, and it was always my fault.
So why were vacations worse than other times?
Vacations were worse because I believe because he felt had me alone, away from family and the few friends that I had.
Oh, he used to carry her on vacations and take advantage of her, beating her, abusing her, and everything, bruh. And the whole time he was a police officer, bruh. He was a sergeant, bruh. This is the type of shit I'm talking about, ladies. Y'all better pay attention to shit when y'all be meeting these dudes because they got a fast car or a house or good, and y'all think that shit sweet. Y'all marry them in 90 and 60 days and shit like that. No, that is not the way. Make sure y'all pay attention to this. Hit that like button. For real.
Did your family members know? Had you told anybody in the family?
Just several months before this, there was an incident with family members, and he actually came at me, and they knew at that point.
So let's go back to the day of the shooting. You know, you said you saw the gun on the counter, you ran down the hall, you got the gun. Did he come at you with the gun?
He had one gun in the bathroom. He always had one. He had two guns all the time that he carried with him. One on his ankle, one on his waist, every time he went anywhere.
Even to the bathroom?
Even to the bathroom, yes. But at this particular day, he only had one in the bathroom with him. It was on the counter. And when I came up the stairs to explain to him that, you know, I didn't know what we were going to do because I just couldn't go on this vacation, he came at me with the gun that he had on the counter.
Came at you how?
He raised the gun and he aimed it at me and he told me he was going to kill me. And I think that...
Oh, nah, she telling the truth. She telling the truth, or she must play in movies. For real, because she on fire. She know everything from step by step. That man was punishing that lady, Mo. For real, that's crazy. Ladies, y'all better pay attention to this. Drop a comment. Hit that like button. We lit.
He was at the breaking point that he was going to kill me. So I ran down the hallway, away from the bathroom. When I got into the bedroom, the other gun that he normally carries was laying there. And my thought was, if I couldn't get out of the house without passing the bathroom because the way the stairs were. So I got the other gun. And I came down the hallway with the gun in my hand, and I thought that if I passed the doorway and he saw that I had the gun, that maybe he would back down and not hurt me.
Did you really think that, having been beaten by this man all these years?
I didn't know. I never held a gun in my life. I never picked up a gun. I never touched it. I just thought that maybe he wouldn't do it. And I ran by the bathroom door, and as I ran by, he came at me with the gun he had. And I had no choice.
So you raised the gun and shot him 11 times.
I never would have believed it was 11 times. It happened all so fast. And I never raised a gun before. I didn't even know how many times it was.
So you shot him, he fell. obviously. Did he not fall the first time, or is that why you kept shooting?
He fell, and after he fell, like the gun that he had in his hand was on the floor, and I realized what I did, what happened. So I went in to help him because I couldn't believe what I did, and I went in to help him. He went to get the gun, and he went to shoot me again.
What?
And I picked it up and I just shot it.
Oh! What the fuck?
So you then fired again at him because
Hey, youngin, you hear this? She shot him. And he fell on the floor, and the gun fell on the floor. And he tried to get the gun again to kill her, and she shot him again. Damn! Y'all heard it first on Yo Cuz podcast.
He's going to kill me.
he was going to kill you. Okay. Barbara's children, Jennifer and Ray, told my producers that they both lived in constant fear, watching their dad abuse their mom for years. And Ray is taking his college finals today, and Jennifer is here. Were you surprised to hear that this ended this way?
I was so shocked. I've never in a million years did I imagine that it would end like that. When I got a phone call that I heard something that had happened, I was sure that he had hurt my mom either really severely or had killed her.
So did you always think that your father would end up harming your mother?
That's what I thought. That
Yeah,
he did harm her for 17 years.
for 17
Yeah.
years.
Damn.
Do you ever remember a time when they weren't fighting or he wasn't abusive?
If they weren't fighting, there was no conversation. There was silence, and there was always tension, and there was always emotional and verbal abuse, always.
Always. Were there times when you tried to protect your mother?
There were. When I was younger, I would try to fight back with him and say, "Why are you doing this? You need to stop. Leave us alone. Just leave. Just get out."
Yeah.
But then that would make things worse.
Yeah.
So I learned as I got older to bite my lip and keep my mouth shut, because if I said something, it would get worse.
Is it true your father had pulled a gun on you at one time?
He had a gun out, yes, around us, and he locked us in my bedroom. Me.
Man, this man was a nutcase, Mo. What the fuck, man? Hit the like button, man.
Barbara's children, Jennifer and Ray, told my producers that they both
Run
lived
that
in
back.
constant
Let that-
fear,
let it go.
watching their dad abuse their mom for years. And Ray is taking his college finals today, and Jennifer is here. Were you surprised to hear that this ended this way?
I was so shocked. I've never in a million years did I imagine that it would end like that. When I got a phone call that I heard something that had happened, I was sure that he had hurt my mom either really severely or had killed her.
So did you always think that your father would end up harming your mother?
That's what I thought. That
Yeah,
he did harm her for 17 years.
for 17
Yeah.
years. Do you ever remember a time when they weren't fighting or he wasn't abusive?
If they weren't fighting, there was no conversation. There was silence, and there was always tension, and there was always emotional and verbal abuse, always.
Always. Were there times when you tried to protect your mother?
There were. When I was younger, I would try to fight back with him and say, "Why are you doing this? You need to stop. Leave us alone. Just leave. Just get out."
Yeah.
But then that would make things worse. So I learned as I got older to bite my lip and keep my mouth shut, because if I said something, it would get worse.
Is it true your father had pulled a gun on you at one time?
He had a gun out, yes, around us, and he locked us in my bedroom, me, my mother, and my brother, and told us that if we were to come out, if we were to even open the door, he was going to kill us.
Did he ever abuse, did he ever physically?
Oh, Mo, this man was doing all this shit. He deserved to die. The fuck?
Abuse you?
There
Other
were
than pointing
moments
guns at you.
here and there
Yeah.
where there was one moment when he had actually physically thrown me across a room into chairs, but never to the extent that he abused my mother.
Did anyone see signs that he was abusing you?
I spoke to people in work. Yes, people in work knew what was going on, and they did see signs.
Did you tell them how bad it was, or were you afraid?
At first, I didn't tell them, and as it was getting worse and it was progressing, I did start to tell them more. And we even contacted a domestic hotline number, and after giving them all the specifics of the incident, they told me that the only way out of a relationship of the type that I was in was to actually disappear. They needed to save money and just disappear.
She goes to the police on her in the program, abusive program, and she said the only way it would stop if you disappeared. The only way you would stop if you disappeared. So the people told her to save some money and disappear. The fuck? I seen that in the movie though. What movie was that? Is that the movie where Halle Berry was in it? I think so.
Because he would find me no matter where I was. He worked in the crime scene unit in the New York Police Department, and he had access to all kinds of forensic work, so all kinds of access to find me if I was to go anywhere, and it wasn't an option. It was just not an option.
Had he threatened to kill you?
Numerous times. He held guns to my head numerous times.
Damn!
And so the question always is, why didn't you leave?
I couldn't leave. There was no option to leave. I attempted to leave several times, packed my children up, got in the car. He promised that he would find us, and he promised that he would take care of me and my children. No one would ever know it. No one, he would, and he'd go after my family, my brother, my sister, my parents. He would take care of everything, and he would definitely find me. And I knew that he would. There would be no incident, no doubt in my mind that he would.
Yeah.
And he...
So how did you think this was going to end? At some point, and I know one of the reasons why you wanted to do this is for all the women out there who are in some form of this.
Absolutely.
And you wanted to say to them, there's another way?
Any signs, controlling is the first sign of someone that is an abuser.
Yeah, and most women in the beginning like it because they think it means he loves me so much that he doesn't want me to be around other people.
And that's the first sign.
Yeah.
And that's the sign to get out.
So I understand you told my producers that your husband had a secret life.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. What was that secret life?
He would go out a lot, and he actually didn't have the decency to have his own screen name or his own email address. So I would go on the computer, and people started to IM me, and I realized that what he was doing was he was meeting people on the outside, but they were transvestite people.
No way.
And that's what he was doing, and he felt that, I think he was using us as his cover, like I have the perfect family, wife, children, house, dog, and this is where he wanted to actually be, which...
The whole time nigga was gay. The whole time he was gay, he liked their men, and he was abusing her like that. He could have just left her alone. Man, hit the like button, man. Drop a comment, man. This shit getting real.
Isn't a problem. I mean, go and do what you want to do. Don't abuse us over it, because the abuse would get a lot worse when he did these things.
So he would go out and, go to bars or where?
I don't know that. But I know that he was doing it. I have people that witnesses that he was doing this.
And so, do you think you should go to jail for this?
How can anyone go to jail for defending themselves? But if I have to go to jail, then I'd be better off than where I was. And my children would be better off, and they're better off now.
Jennifer, what do you think?
My mother is the nicest person that I know, that I've ever met. She, like I said, it was a total shock to me that she would ever hurt anybody. She would never hurt anybody, and anyone who knows her knows that. And I'm so proud of her for what she did.
For real, tell y'all the truth, she really ain't have a choice. She really ain't have a choice. Because he was going to kill her. or she gonna kill him. For real.
She stood up for herself, and God knows I probably wouldn't be alive today if it was the other way around.
Really? So, is there any part of you that misses your father?
Absolutely not. You have to understand, my brother and I lived our lives in constant fear. We couldn't go out. I couldn't go to work and be at work because my mind was at home with my mom. Calling her, my brother, I know, would call her from college twice a day. Like, that's not what a 19-year-old kid should do. Mm-hmm. And calling her, wondering where you are. If she wasn't answering the text messages, it was like I had to, take a walk. I had to call somebody else, to call a neighbor. I had a best friend that lived across the street. Is she home? What's going on,
That's crazy.
It was constant fear my entire life. Mm-hmm. No part of me misses him.
No part of you misses him. No. Would you say your life is better without him?
My life is 150% better.
Damn!
And you feel that your life, even though you will have to come before a jury soon, your life is better without him?
Beat that.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing your story. We contacted the district attorney's office to see if they had something to say about Barbara's case, but they're unable to comment at this time. But I thank you for being here today. And thank you, Jennifer. Your message to women who are watching, though, because, no one would have been able to say anything to you 2 years ago. I mean, if you were home and had yourself sitting in the chair right now, what could you have said that would have reached you?
There was nothing that could have reached me because of the situation.
Because it was too late for you.
He was the police. Mm-hmm. He was the person that you're supposed to go to for help. Mm-hmm. This is what you deal with.
So you want to say what to those people who you have an opportunity to reach today?
Get out of a relationship as soon as the controlling starts. You need to get away, because then don't stop, and it gets worse, and it gets worse, and it gets worse. Got to a point where he didn't even care who saw it. He did it in front of my family. He didn't care if anyone saw what he was doing. Right. And that's where I knew that the next step was he was going to kill me.
Hi, YouTubers. I'm excited to give you an update about our own YouTube channel. Now you can find new videos every day. They're the kind of videos